Welcome. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Almost Anything Goes podcast, where we tackle today's hottest topics with a mix of candor, humor, intellectual rigor. Today, we're delving into the topic that has fascinated most of anybody. Troubled relationships, love triangles, broken vows. We are talking about infidelity in relationship. We're going to explore why people cheat, the impact it has on relationships, and let's discuss the new topic. Do women cheat more than men? So we are going to get started. Let's introduce the co-host. First up, we have Orvin, God's favorite. Hey, Orvin, are you ready to dive on in?
Hello, hello. You know I am. I'm ready to get into it to tell y'all all who cheat the most and,
Oh my
and
goodness.
why y'all cheat the most and why only y'all do all the cheating. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's get it going.
Well, with that being said, let me go ahead and bring on in Stacy Shenanigan Inc. Hey, Stacy.
Hi, everybody. Yes, excited to, I guess, talk about cheating and who actually does cheat. Those are
Mhm.
cover cheaters. We're about to call you out.
I love it. I love it. And last but not least, let's bring in the rebellious advocate, Marseille.
Hello.
I think she gonna have some words for you, God's favorite. I'm just saying. Let's go ahead and kick it off with the big question. Do you think women cheat more than men? And Orvin, we will kick it off to you first.
Yes, yes, yes. Wait a minute. I'm gonna say it loud so everybody can hear it all the way to the next world over. Like, no, seriously. I have no idea who does it the most. But I know I don't cheat. But I think women cheat more than men. I think women are just better at it because women are better at a lot of things. I'm okay saying that. So I think men just get lazy in their brain and they get comfortable with the situation and then they stop caring as much and they never love the second individual in the first place. So we get caught because we slip up. And I think women are just better at the game sometimes with the situation. So statistically, it looks like men do more than cheating, but I think women are the better cheating. That's a horrible thing to say. Women are better at cheating men seem to be. But that's from the only man on this panel at the moment. I'm gonna say it's all y'all fault. Y'all the reason no that we just hurting, we crying in the corner. All of y'all be cheating the most on us. Y'all started first. Okay, no, seriously. I think women cheat more than men. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That's a strong story coming in from Orvin. I'm going to leave off the God's favor from that one, but I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm still his favorite. I'm still his favorite.
Now, we heard Orvin's take. Stacy,
Mm.
my dear, what is your take?
Well, I'm also a favorite orphan. So here's what I think. I think statistically, yes. And what I think, yes, men do cheat more, but that does not mean women do not cheat. I agree. We are better at it. Not me per se, just we as women are better at it, but I do think men cheat more. There are more men cheating. Yes.
More men cheating. Orvin goes with more women cheating. And let's turn this over to our rebellious advocate, Marseille. What so say you?
I believe that if anything pretty equal. And if not, I can probably say women might cheat a little more, but I'm not necessarily only thinking about the physical. I'm also thinking about emotional cheating and other things in that way. And also women, I can speak for myself. I am pretty good at hiding secrets and hiding things. So I wouldn't be surprised if statistics just aren't accurate because of people keeping things to themselves and not telling others what's going on.
Well, if she didn't just throw a little monkey wrench in that. Since
So
she said statistics, let me give you all a few. We're going to do a few statistics on infidelity because, as always, we want you all to be educated. We want you all to come up with your own decisions and your own discussions as well on this topic. According to the Institute for Family Studies, about 20% of men and 13% of women reported having cheated on their spouse at some time during their marriage. The General Social Survey found that about 16% of people reported having cheated on their spouse, with men reporting a slightly higher rate of infidelity than women. Let's look at age differences. Infidelity rates can vary significantly by age. For example, younger adults ages 18 through 29 have lower rates of reported infidelity compared to older age groups. I don't know how y'all feel about that. Among older adults, ages 60 and above, men are more likely to report having cheated than women. Interesting. I'll do one more. Trends over time. Studies suggest that the gender gap in infidelity is narrowing. Women rates of infidelity have increased over the past decades, while men's rates have pretty much remained relatively the same. A study published in the Archives of Sexual Behavior indicated that from 1991 to about 2006, the percentage of married women who reported having an affair grew by 40%. So that was in 2006. So we can only imagine what it would be today. It sounds like we all have some things that are ringing a little bit true. Now, with that being said, let's talk about reasons behind infidelity. What do you think drives people to cheat? And let's start with Stacy.
I think it's different for men and women. I would start with women. I think one of the reasons they cheat is really that it's an emotional cheating too. If they are not being emotionally kind of satisfied, they may find or seek out that individual, that person that is listening to them, have common themes and things in common with what they do in their everyday life. So I think it's more an emotional aspect for women, the reasoning behind it. For men, there's slightly some things different with men. I think men sometimes it can be an emotional thing, but most times I do think it's generational. That is an aspect of it. If you watch your mentor, your father or your uncles go out and do this behavior, you kind of grow up thinking that. I think a lot of men grow up and become a product. What is the saying? Product of their environment, per se. I think that's also a reason that we can't overlook with it. It's not an excuse, no, because you do have the option of not, following that path. But a lot of men, I believe, are around that behavior at a very young age. You have to grow up knowing what the difference is, the right and wrong versus.
Oh, very interesting. It sounds like women, it's more for you, it's more about what they are missing from home or missing from their life. And even with men, interesting pointing out that you believe it's a generational thing in the sense of if they saw uh, their people do it, whether that was their uncle, their dad, or whomever is was close to them, that it's more of a generational, "This is what I saw, this is what I know." Thank you for that, Stacy. Orvin, what so say you?
I love the fact that she focused on it being a generational thing or someone that was mentoring you or something of that aspect, and then you just took on their bad behavior. I really, I wasn't thinking about it from that perspective because it's all a choice. Men are very, very visual creatures. So a lot of the times, I'm not going to give any percentage because I'm not here for the statistic. A lot of the times, it's because something visually caught our attention and we got distracted the other way. Either even when little boys are growing up and they see mice or they see snakes or they see things out in the yard or bugs, they gravitate towards it because they see it and they like, oh my gosh, I want to play with it. We were like, there's something else that's a new toy for us. That's something different. That's something that gives us attention. Oh, she did something that's different than the one that I'm with. And so we go over here and she allows it. Whether sometimes she knows, sometimes she doesn't. But a lot of women are seem to be the ones I've come across, the conversations I've had are more accepting because they feel that it's a lack of quality males out here and they're accepting of it. And I don't understand it. Like I'm like, somebody out there for you. I'm like, I'm trying your patience got you gotta practice a little bit of patience, but the quality of men seems to be going down. Women are accepting a lot more than they used to accept the bad behavior and allowing the cheating. And I'm like, it's not no, no. So, we do a lot of cheating. We just get caught a lot. We don't get caught. So yeah, them numbers are slightly higher.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that different viewpoint. I do appreciate the fact that you're saying it's all a choice. Men, listen, it's a choice. It's a choice thing. It's a d- did she catch your eye thing. I think I got a little bit heartburn with women. We need to take more accountability and responsibility for allowing this stuff to happen. I do like the thought process of the quality of men seems to be going down, and perhaps women's standards are being thrown by the wayside. Definitely different view. I'm going to bring in the rebellious advocate to see what she so has to say about this conversation topic.
There are a lot of different angles to look at this from. Both Orvin and Stacy have made really good points. And to even add on to it is what Stacy said with how it's what we see, what we learn. I also think that a lot of time when we cheat or when we accept cheaters, it is because of our own view of self worth and how we're raised in that way. A lot of families, and I can say this because I work with children, I work with youth that unfortunately some families, especially depending on the culture, are not the best telling their children how worthy they are and what they deserve and all of that stuff. So that's definitely a big impact on why people might cheat or like the ways that they might cheat and things like that. I also think about mental illnesses as well. There are many people who are just like, oh, this person is not worth my time, but they won't leave. Like they want to stick with me the whole time, but I'm not good enough. Like I'm not good enough for them. So it is like self-sabotage in a way as well, self-destruction.
Interesting points that you're talking about. I come from a different standpoint. However, when we're talking about what drives people to cheat, I agree with everything that you all have said. I would add those things like people not knowing how to communicate very well or communicate effectively. I think, and I loved the one thing Orvin may have said. I told you it was a couple things I was like, "Huh." Well, one thing that Orvin, you said choice. I believe that so wholeheartedly that it is a choice, whether you're male or female, to cheat, period, for whatever the reason. And I think those reasons are what what you all have said. I also think people get bored. I'm not saying that that's an excuse or I mean, I'm not saying it's a justifiable thing, but I think people get bored. I think people like spontaneity. I think people like differences. And I think sometimes we're also a little immature. And I think just depending on your background, what you saw, I think people are now just all over the place when it comes to relationships and trying different things. And maybe they're thinking, this really doesn't work. So why not try this? Why not try that? So I think that there's so many different things since this is almost anything go podcast. Let's talk about, have y'all cheated? Uh-huh. Have you ever cheated? And I probably, unfortunately, would have been way back in the day the queen of I'm going to do what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do. And thank God for Jesus. Lord have mercy.
Holiday.
Hallelujah. Because the person I was then is not the person I am today. Hallelujah.
Whenever, whenever.
Yes. Back in the day, back in the heyday, you was gonna get a lot of hay and a lot of day.
Oh no.
Talk about anything. Almost goes home.
Almost hay. So, Orvin, what so say you? Are
Well,
you a reformed cheater?
reformed. I know. I didn't cheat. And don't you ever heard of the saying black men don't cheat?
Oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh.
Never heard of that
Wait a
name.
If you catch a quick glance of the visuals, you say Pretty Ricky when they call me. So come on, like why was one enough? No, I'm reformed. I don't have the energy in the day to think about anybody else than my beautiful wife. I don't. I I wouldn't even try. Like I wouldn't attempt. I wouldn't try. What would it be like? I don't care. Like I can't get the needs of a woman or significant other are too demanding to try to cheat. So no, yes, I've cheated in the past growing up. I'm a well matured individual at this point, and I'm God's favorite. So I I can't receive that favor if I don't have a wonderful wife. That's what I'm taught. So I have favor. You see that? You see my name on that? Who those are who watching, those who are listening. I am God's favorite. So no, I don't cheat. I had anymore. It's been a long, long time. I did back in the day, and they got a lot of hay and a lot of day too.
All right, let's move on to Miss Stacy.
Nobody's perfect. I've been immature.
She said nobody's perfect. She's been immature. Are we gonna get any more from
No, I'm gonna land on almost anything. Almost anything.
All right. All right. The truth comes out. Reform advocate.
I have not, definitely not cheated physically. Like nothing like that. Emotionally, probably, especially when I was younger. Definitely because I am such an emotional being, trying to find people to get what I need. It was probably something that I was like not talking to date them, but like just talking serious conversation that should have been going to the person I was dating, but they weren't able to hold that for me.
Well, there. So, with the rebellious advocate, not so rebellious, maybe a little emotional, but not so rebellious.
Very emotional.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about emotional cheating and what type of side effects it has on partners. What about that?
For me, I don't think I've had a partner emotionally cheat on me, but I know when I do feel like I'm not getting the emotional things I need, it does put a wedge between the relationship. It is just you can't offer what I need. You can't give me what I need in the moment, and this is really important to me. It's like high on my like priority list when it comes to dating. Is that something that is like essential to dating me? And when I don't get it, it is just I don't really why are you here? That type of mentality. So it definitely does drive a huge wedge into the relationship. And then it makes me wonder, is this the right person? Or do I just need to express more of how important the emotional needs I have are and how it is if you want to keep me, this has to change. So
Thank you for sharing that.
yeah.
What do you all think about? What's some good advice if there are people out here right now who are like, you know what? I'm a serial cheater. What do you jump on in, Marseille?
Therapy. Go to therapy. There's probably a lot of trauma in your life that has not been addressed. And especially a trauma therapist can help you with that, help you unlock it. Because, or on the flip side, non monogamy is also an option. There are people
Yeah.
who are polyamorous and they're able to get what they need from different things. So, those are my two suggestions.
All right. You heard it from the rebellious advocate therapy. Or maybe you need to think about a whole entire different playing
Yeah.
field to play on.
Yes,
You
sister
gotta
wife.
change field sometimes. You've been playing soccer all your life. Maybe baseball is a nice change up. You never know.
You
I
never
do
know.
think that that person recognizes that they are a serial cheater and they took the first step to say, I am a serial cheater. That's
Yeah.
huge. You're up front. You're up front with it. Kudos to you. But therapy, I do agree. Or the alternative, like Marseille said as well.
Okay. Do you have any words of wisdom to be able to share, Orvin? To that person out here listening and saying, you know
My
what?
thing is, oh,
I want to stop.
I think they have to find the source, and I think I'm gonna say Marseille led it off wonderfully with getting someone else that is in a position to help you talk to them and find out. I'm not talking about a past. I'm talking about somebody that knows what they're doing professionally to help you to stop doing what you're doing. Find the source of why you're doing it, why you want to do it, why do you feel the need to have to cheat, why do you or you can't be monogamous. And if they want to be a sister husband or a sister wife, then more power to them. Like I said, I don't have energy, but I'm with you. Whatever works for you works for you. So you find out what you need to do. Stop floating around here and hurting one person's feeling to the next because you can't stop doing what you're doing. Figure out why you're doing what you're doing and get the help.
God's favorite. How can you not mention that sometimes there's just a hole in your heart that needs to be filled by Jesus? Truly, sometimes there is,
Yes, he
Or
can.
whatever.
I
They,
totally agree, and I'm not knocking it. He can do that, but if him doing it alone is not the answer. You need to
yeah.
definitely get professional help because that spiritual power is something that we can't always see, and that's not tangible
Mhm.
for us to touch. So we need something that is directly in our face, some direct help, something that we need in addition to the spiritual aspect to get. That's why I was going with your help because I'm like opening up a book and you going to church every Sunday and you thinking that you gonna get this thing right ain't gonna always get it done. It will help. It'll help fill a hole. But then again, then you need to talk to the pastor or somebody of a higher level to help you fill that hole because you're not gonna get it done by yourself. So you either way, you still need the person that is over top of you to give you that help and that assistance in getting it done.
And
So
it's
I
kind
totally
of
agree. Thank you for pointing that out.
Listening to all of you, it also sounds like for some it could be an addiction. And I think that's also one of the differences that you need to be able to distinguish. Am I doing this because I'm just bored or can I not stop? And there is a striking difference. Can you stop your routine for 6 months, or is it a compulsion? And I also think that is also a difference because some may say religion may do it for you. It may, whatever that religion may be, it may do it for you. But if it's a compulsion and if it's like an addiction, 100% religion is going to help a little bit, but you need to you're gonna have to tie that in with something else. Exactly what everyone's saying, because it sounds like just listening to you all, it can go past just, "Oh, I'm doing this," or is it, "I'm actually addicted to it." And before we wrap up, what would we say to the person that's left trying to pick up the pieces? They've been cheated on, and they're in a horrific state, what would you say to that person that's watching that's just in that horrific state right now? Because, yes, they've been cheated on. They found out. No matter how they found out, no. So, what will we say to that person? We ended with Orvin. Let's start with Orvin. How will we pick that person up?
Oh, please. See, the rebellious advocate down there testing me like on the side of the mountain because I'm sitting here. It's nice to want to say the godly perspective. That has nothing to do with me being God's favorite. But I'm like, that would be the great answer. But there's a big part of me knows what the ID channel looks like. And if I walked in on somebody, I might have that moment where I'd be like, God, baby Jesus, can you sit right here for a second? Because I'm gonna get my pistol and it's gonna be a bang egg, but it's almost anything goes. That's the reality that people think. I'm not saying it's the right answer. If you got look, I'm just telling you. But what I would tell somebody, it's going to be okay. Your life has not ended. Look, I'm speaking directly into your life has not ended. It feels like it's over. There will become a moment of clarity, not at this very particular moment where you see red. It will go out the window and you will become clear and you will become even maybe one day forgiving, never understanding, but one day forgiving why somebody did something to hurt you. And you will offer them that grace and it's going to be okay. It's not the end all. If you're still here on this side living life, then you can continue living your life for you and not for that person. So I'm going to have, that's the advice I would have to give the person because at that very moment, it's going to hurt like heck.
Thank you for sharing that. What about you, Stacy? What would you give our listeners that just realized or found out that they've been cheated on? How would you get them through?
I would say similar to what Orvin said, it's not the end. But the other main point there is you're not the cause. It is not your fault. People tend to internalize things and they have to get to a point where they realize that you are, it's not because you're not a good person. It's not because you didn't do X. It's really about the other person. There's always a choice, and that individual made the choice to go maybe the wrong way. You could have done some things differently, but it is not your issue, your burden to carry. Your burden to carry is how you're going to react to it. Are you going to accept it? What are your next steps to move on from it? And to know that it is not the end of the world. There are good men and women out there that you will find again, but just we tend to internalize things, especially women. Oh, I wasn't pretty enough. Oh, I didn't do this enough. Oh, I didn't. It's not about you. It's not about you. It's not even about the other person that they used to cheat on you with. It's about that person. Just don't internalize it. Focus on you and focus on what you need to get this ordeal.
Well stated, well stated. And I'll turn it over to Marseille. What would your words be to that person that's devastated right now.
If you're anything like me, put the weapons down, back away, breathe. Seriously, breathe. Remember that it is your partner, not the other person that you need to if you can't put the weapon down, it's not the other person, it's your partner. Um, but if you can put the weapon down, definitely back up, take a breath, understand your worth, remember your worth, taking this time to figure out who you are because in a lot of relationships, we end up forgetting who we are because we focus on the relationship. So definitely take this time to heal yourself. Again, therapy. I will always say therapy for anyone, even if you think you were 100% okay, therapy still. Yeah, take time to figure out who you are, call out, reach out to friends, family, make sure your support system is there supporting you. Don't forget to reach out to them. If you need to cry or scream or something, make sure you get yourself some stress toys, buy like a mannequin or something, beat that up, something to deflect all of the physical rage you might have in a safe way versus harming a human. But if you do,
If you do, you mean what?
I mean, do you do? Can't take that back.
Oh my. Listen, on behalf of AAGP, we do not condone violence or physical acts of aggression. We highly recommend that if you are at that point, you walk away, walk out the house, get away, put the weapon down, put the weapon, like right this second, put
Yeah,
it
put it down.
down and walk away because you are more worth anything, period. So, on behalf of AAGP, that's our service announcement.
PSA for today.
Yes, PSA for today. Put the weapon down. I didn't even think we would even get here. Put
Yeah.
the weapon down. This is where even what Orvin said, if we wrap it all up, or that particular portion, where give yourself grace, which would mean to me that you're giving yourself the ability to put that weapon down, to walk away. Not only will you be giving them grace to walk away, but you're giving that to yourself as well because you are so much more worth it. And I definitely agree, just like we said, for those who can recognize that you're a serial cheater and you have a problem, go get therapy, get help. We say that to the people who this has happened to. If you are hurting, go get help. There is no shame to getting help and assistance. You all talking things out, not just to your BFF, but talking things out to a therapist. Listen, a lot of you may be African American people. Talking to a therapist is good. It's good. It's a good thing. If you are of another race, listen, all of our cultures tell us something different. And a lot of times, in a lot of cultures, going to get therapy is not the way to go. We must change and dispel that myth. Getting help is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you are bad behind, but right. Go get help. It is a sign of strength. And so know that. Before I wrap everything up, is there any final thoughts from you all? Anything you'd like to share?
Women still cheat more than men. Y'all just don't get caught. I want to leave. I want to leave on how I started out, but we shouldn't be cheaters. No, seriously. I love everything that was said today. Just I'm going to go with this every time you see me. Probably be better. Be a better human being. It's going to be okay. Be a better human being. Stop cheating.
I think we've given you, even though we didn't go into the different topics and options. However, there are different options for you, as Marseille said. If you don't want to be on the football field, maybe you need to learn to play baseball. There are different ways. Orvin reminded people, hey, you may want to be a sister wife or brother wife because they got brother wives now. You may be on it. There are so many
But
different ways, but we want to be truthful. We want you to be truthful. We want you to be able to give people an option to choose to stay with you, to choose their own path. That would be for me the moral. Be truthful, communicate with your partner. And if it's not working for you, then change it, whatever that may be. But don't just change it without talking to your partner. Can you please just talk to them? I know it's going to be a difficult conversation. Maybe that's one that you have with your therapist and they help you with that breakthrough with your significant other. This has been an insightful discussion. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic. Do you agree with us? Where don't you agree? Come on, we can take it. We can take it. Let us know your thoughts. Do you have any personal experiences that you'd like to share? Don't forget, follow us on social media. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast for more engaging discussions on Almost Anything Goes. Thank you again for tuning in to today's episode of Almost Anything Goes podcast. A big thank you goes out to my co-host, Orvin, Stacy, Mars. Hey, remember, relationships are complex. There is no one size fits all. Until next time, stay curious and keep the conversation going. Thanks, everybody.